So hello there and welcome back to the channel. This is Mel's Gaming, here with an incredibly special The Hunter Call of the Wild video. Now last night I was here on Medved Taiga continuing with my moose grind, and at this particular lake something incredibly special ended up spawning. So I'd literally just been doing moose runs all night, and I pop up into this tree stand up here expecting to shoot the moose in this next zone, and I look over and I see this. That is a fabled two-tone Great One moose. Now, when I first spotted it, I actually thought it was a piebald. And then I just saw the rack and realised it was actually a fabled two-tone, which is one of my absolute favourite furs for the Great One moose. And he's just incredible. It's the spider rack again, the same as the last Great One moose that I got, but he's just absolutely incredible looking. What an awesome looking combo. Just so fantastic. One of the furs I wanted to get the most. My favourite furs for the Great One moose have always been ashen at the top, then two-toned, speckled, and birch. I really love those furs. But I was so excited to actually get to see a fabled two-tone in-game for myself. This guy is absolutely stunning. And it is, of course, effectively a piebald, just a special piebald variant for the Great One moose. But it just looks so fantastic. It stands out so well. And like I said, first glimpse I caught, I thought, oh, a piebald. Oh, that's a great one. And the silent screaming that happened when I saw it and realised it was actually a fabled two-tone was just insane. He is absolutely beautiful. And it's so cool looking, this fur, the way it sort of splits in half. It's so unique and different to like the normal common piebald. Well, I say common piebald, obviously it's still a rare variant, but the normal piebald that you will find in-game usually. And it's so cool to me that they made the piebald variant for the Great One moose so different, and you know, they called it two-tone, which fits so perfectly with it being these two different tones. It is such a split and it looks really cool. But I love the marking over the face especially. It kind of looks like he's wearing a mask on the one side, and it's just really cool to me. Just such a fantastic looking fur. I'm so pleased to actually say that I have gotten a fabled two-tone moose. They are just gorgeous. And I'd seen, you know, pictures of them and stuff, but getting to see them in game, again, it's just a whole different experience. And this is just such a stunning moose. I mean, look at him. Isn't he just gorgeous? Just absolutely stunning. And the way that the sort of dark brown sort of rear end combines into the white in the front half, and the way it sort of blends with the different spots there, I really love that. And it's actually different on both sides. It's not just the same pattern repeated for both sides of the moose, which makes it even cooler. It's really unique, and it's just fabulous. Now, obviously, I did do what I've been doing with all my Great Ones and followed this guy to his different zones and got to have a couple of really incredible experiences just following him around. So here he is in his rest zone, and honestly, the two-tone fits so well on Medved. I think that there's a few of the different fur variations for the Great One moose that fit really well on Medved. The fabled speckled looks really good because it's the darker fur, and then you've got the white head and the white spots on the body that kind of look like snowflakes. The birch, I think, fits really well on Medved because it's obviously a sort of white fur in general, so it fits in really nicely with the environment. But the two-tone, very similar again to your normal piebald that you'll find on, you know, normal moose that aren't fabled. It really blends in. It really fits in with the environment. Like, it's very camouflaged. And that actually made it kind of tricky to locate this guy when he was actually up here in his rest zone, because it's very brushy up here where he actually had his rest zone, and it took me a few attempts to actually be able to locate him. I had to try and move around the zone because of the wind to try and be able to get close like this, and every time it was the rack that gave it away, because you just see this rack turning from side to side, and that's the thing that really stands out, because like, even as you look at him here, the way that coat is coloured really just does blend in with the underbrush. It's really cool, and that's one of the reasons I like grinding for Great One Moose on Medved, is because I do feel like there's so many furs that just look good on Medved, and I love Medved and the environment itself. I think it's very, very beautiful, and it's just, for me, so fitting to see just incredible giants like this on this map, and I absolutely love it. He's such an incredible beast. Absolutely awesome. Now, I do plan to continue grinding for more Great One Moose, because I would still love to get the quad paddle rack and the big non-typical rack. And I would still love to get the Fabled Birch and the Fabled Ashen. The Fabled Ashen is my absolute favourite, and I hope one day I'll get lucky enough to see that fur in-game. But, you know, to have now 2 of my 4 favourite furs is absolutely wild. And I have just been doing the exact same thing as I've been doing on all my grinds recently, just focusing on shooting the bigger males, for moose I've been ignoring level 1s and level 2s, just focusing on shooting 3s and 4s, and I've had more diamonds showing up, and it's obviously having an effect with the great ones showing up, because we've seen, you know, how many great ones I've gotten recently, and that's all since I started changing up sort of my method and how I actually was grinding for these guys. It's definitely been a lot more efficient than my old way of grinding, so I'm just going to keep going with it and see what else I can get to pop up, because this has been absolutely wild and absolutely incredible, and getting to document these trophies and follow these trophies around and film them and stuff has been so fantastic. And if it's going to keep happening, then I'm just going to keep going with it, and it's just fantastic. And moving on here, you can see I've just found him in his feed zone, which is always really cool, I think, seeing them in their feed zone, because it's cool to see the racks from different angles on these animals to me. And when they're feeding, of course, they put their head down and they tilt it from side to side, like you can see here, and it just gives you a really good look at just every angle of this incredible set of antlers. I think that the spider rack is absolutely insane, and there are similar real life variants like this, not quite to this extreme, but you can find images of non-typical moose where you can see where they took the inspiration from to create this rack. And I think that that is so incredibly cool. And watching him feed here in this sort of evening light was so beautiful. And again, you can see just how well he blends into this environment. Like I said, it's really cool. Absolutely gorgeous. What a beast. What an absolute beast. He's so cool. Like, I couldn't get over just how cool this guy looks. This fur is so awesome. I just love the one side of his face having that, like I said, sort of like a mask over it. It's incredible looking. And just getting to sit here and have him feeding quietly towards me, and it was just awesome. I love these moments so much. You know, and it's not just that moment where, you know, obviously when you first spot it, it's like, holy, that's a great one. But then getting to just sit and appreciate them for the period of time that I do, you know, several hours, it just makes it so much more cool to me, rather than just shooting them in the drink zone as you see them. You know, the whole process could be over and done with in a matter of minutes, and I rather would make it take a few hours, because you get to appreciate the animal more, and I think that that adds to the trophy itself more than, you know, just taking it quickly in its drink zone. There's no need to rush on these animals when they're in your single player. Absolutely no need. Plus, the other thing is, by following them around like this, it gives me an opportunity to calm the heck down, because when I spot a great one, I've said this before, it's like getting kicked in the heart by a mule. I'm not calm when it happens. And even though now I've had quite a few great ones, I'm very fortunate to say I've had quite a few great ones, it doesn't, like, change. Every time I see that 10 Fable pop up, or I just see something that I know it's different, my heart still gets that kick. It's that adrenaline rush. And I am so cautious with these animals. I don't ever want to mess one up. Like, I've said it before, that's an absolute nightmare scenario for me, is if I ended up messing one of these incredible beasts up. So I don't ever want that to happen. And so that's just the added extra benefit of following them around like this. It gives me time to visualise what kind of shot I'm going to take, to really get into, okay, that's the headspace I need to be in. I need to be a bit more calm so that I know I'm confident with that shot, or as confident as I can be. I'm never 100% confident when shooting a great one. I always panic that something's going to go wrong. But it just gives me that little bit of extra time, and I think that that is something that is really beneficial, because I think, you know, it's something that happens to all of us. You see a great one and you're not going to be calm when you spot one of these things. They're so incredibly special that you're not going to be in the calmest headspace to begin with, because you've just spotted a great one. And so I think taking that time is just a really, really beneficial thing, and I can't stress it enough that if you do have one of these on your map, take your time with taking your shot. It doesn't matter if you don't shoot it the same day as you spot it. Just make sure you take your time and get that shot, and, you know, that's my main advice with these. And like I said, all I've been doing for grinding them is focusing on shooting the bigger males, ignoring the smaller males. I've talked about it in the previous videos recently, and just shooting as many as I can. And I play this game for a ton of hours every day, like up to 12 hours a day, sometimes longer, sometimes less, obviously if I'm not feeling well or whatever. But I play a lot every day. It's normally like 10 hours at least. And it's a lot. It's a lot of hours every single day. So it adds up, you know, when I'm shooting more selectively and that. Like I said, I think that does have an impact. So that combined with the amount of time that I spend shooting all these animals, it's going to result in more great ones in the end. And like I said, I do definitely believe that it has had an effect, the way that I've changed my grinding. But I'm just going to keep going with it, and we'll see what else we can end up getting, because this has been incredible. And it's been incredible to get all these different animals to be able to share with you all. It's been really, really awesome. But now it is time to take this incredible giant out, and we do have him here once again in his rest zone, and this time we're going to use the bolt action 338. So I got him to go alert and stand up there. He gives me a perfect shot opportunity, and as you can see, once that bullet impacts, it doesn't take very long for his health to start dropping. I could see the vital blood on the ground, and yeah, I was just super, super happy to know that I'd made a good shot on this guy. Even as I'm running over to him, just again panicking. Yeah, the 338 is ethical, right? Which normally, with normal moose, I would be like, yeah, the 338 is ethical, of course it is. But with something like a great one, I'm like, damn, it is ethical, right? Just double check real quick. And I'll check before and I'll check after as I'm running to pick him up. Like, it just makes me panic every time. The shot on one of these will always make me panic. But we're going to pick him up. He is a Fabled two-tone Great One Moose, 197.42 spider rack. He is just absolutely incredible looking. What a majestic giant. These guys are just so cool to me. The Great One Moose, I do believe they are my favourite Great One. Like, they're just so cool to me. They're, like I said, they're majestic giants. They just are. These incredibly awesome, huge, fantastic looking Great Ones. And they just, everything about them to me is so incredibly cool. Every fur type, every rack, every combination, it just looks so awesome to me. So, like I said, I'm definitely going to keep grinding for more Great One Moose. I really just want to get the quad paddle rack and the big non-typical rack. I really, really hope that we can eventually get both of those racks to put into the trophy lodge. Like I said, I really love all of the variants for the Great One Moose, so those are the ones I really want to collect. It's the same with trying to get a drop time Great One Whitetail, you know. I'm trying to get my favourite Great Ones to go into the trophy lodge. Yeah, I just love the moose, and so I'm just definitely going to keep grinding for them. And who knows, you never know when the next one is going to show up. If it could be thousands and thousands of kills, or it could be relatively short grinds like I've been having recently. I've definitely been getting lucky with the RNG, because I do believe that it is still RNG involved in the process, even with something like, I believe most people have been calling it light management, where you just ignore the small ones and shoot the bigger ones. But I do think there obviously is still an element of RNG. I personally believe that since we got told that Great Ones are an elevated diamond, and that's why when you mess a Great One up it becomes a gold instead of a diamond, personally, I believe that if you get lucky enough to get a diamond roll, that sometimes you can get like really, really lucky and a diamond rolls into a Great One, basically like in the spawning chances or something, so that, you know, it spawns as a Great One instead of a diamond. So I think if you're getting more diamonds, then you're likely to get more Great Ones. That's how it works in my head. That's just a theory. But so you know, I've been having more diamonds show up, and then I've been having more great ones show up. So it seems to work that way in practice as well. So that's how I think it works personally, but it's all a theory. And like I said, however it works, it definitely seems to be having some kind of impact grinding the way I do now. And I absolutely love getting these trophies, so I'm going to continue grinding this way. And yeah, it's really, really fantastic, because just looking at this guy, he is so incredibly beautiful. Just stunning. Like, I can't even express how cool this looks. Such a gorgeous moose. Really, really awesome. I love that the hooves, the back hooves and the front hooves are different colours as well. Just absolutely awesome. He's so, so pretty. And that rack is just incredible. Just everything about this animal is incredible. I absolutely love it. They're just fantastic, and I'm so, so ecstatic to have another one of these guys to put into my trophy lodge. And mentioning putting him in the trophy lodge, of course we're going to go and do that straight away. Now, I actually have him on the opposite end of the room it's sort of in the back room of Taiga Safari. Now he's on the opposite sort of end of this room to the Fabled spruce that we got for the previous Great One Moose that has the same rack. So they kind of are at both ends of the room, which I really like. But yeah, this guy is he's just magnificent. He's just magnificent. And I know I've said it 100 times in this video how cool he is, but he's just so fantastic. I absolutely love these moose. They are so, so cool. I think the devs did such a great job with the Great One Moose especially. They are really, really cool. Just looking at the detail in the coat, like I said, the way that the different colours actually sort of blend and combine into this coat looks incredible. And like I said, the pattern is actually unique on both sides, which is really cool. It's not just the same pattern reflected on both sides, you know, exactly the same down the middle. It's completely unique on both sides, so no matter what angle you look at him from, it's going to be unique, which is really cool. But this is my favourite part of the whole fur, is this little bit right here with this brown patch over the eye. It looks really, really fantastic. This little mask is so beautiful. But then, like I said, the way that the white and the brown here start to mix looks really fantastic. I love that it's sort of a more clean, defined sort of split. I like that. It makes it more unique. So I couldn't be more happy with this. I really, really am absolutely thrilled. And I really hope it comes across, because finding the words is difficult for me sometimes with things like this. I get so incredibly excited and I get so passionate about it that I trip over my words. I get just confused about what I'm trying to say. I love this, and I think it's so, so cool, and getting to take these trophy animals and to get to film them and then to get to share it, it's so, so cool for me. But that is going to be it for this video, so I really hope you have enjoyed it. Thank you so, so much for watching and for all your support as always. You have all been so, so fantastic with all the support, and I really, really do appreciate absolutely all of it. So thank you so, so much for that. But that is going to be it for this one, so thank you so, so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Thank you.